welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be making something that is going to be whimsical and really fun, maybe a little bit silly, but I'm going to try to keep it elegant. I'm working with one of the two boxes. Well, I'm mixing the two boxes. I get two boxes. Let me back up. I get two boxes directly from the Czech Republic. The company is called Craftika and they do two boxes. One is called Bohem style and it is a kit to make two complete pieces of jewelry with a link to a video tutorial. And the other box is called Czech Beads Exclusive. It's more than 26 items every month, Czech beads and findings. It's themed and curated, and this month they did this theme that's so clever and adorable and really speaks to my heart. It was called The World of Beloved Animals, and it was packed with dogs and cats and elephants and bears. And so if I did the first video, I just unboxed and shared everything, and I made two projects. I did these really cute cat earrings. They are mirrored, and I'll link that video below this video in case you didn't see it, but just a very tiny bit of wire working, all the beads from the box, and two spacer beads from my stash. And really I feel like anybody could do these, and I think these are really cute. But there was another colorway in the cat, and for me I probably wouldn't wear cat earrings, but I did a little cat pendant for myself, and this one has an articulated seed bead tail, and this one is equally as easy, a tiny bit of wire working. And so I showed how to do the little dangling cat tail in that video and the wire wrapped cat tail, so I will link that below. And why I mentioned the second box is because the other box that Craftika does is called Bohem style, and it always comes tied with this jewelry quality cotton cording, and I love to do knotted projects and I always save it. But this month there was this amazing cat. It's a metallic dichroic brown and green. It has an Aurora Borealis AB Aurora Borealis finish on it, and it's a bronze patina, and this bead is two-sided, and so it looks metallic. It's there are so many finishes applied to this Czech glass bead, and that was in this box. And so I took the cord from the other box and I started at one end and just tied a knot over and over again, a knot on top of a knot, to make this kind of a ball of yarn. And I put my little cat charm on a piece of wire with simple loops on either end, and I just tied a knot, and I'm playing with making a charm to look like my cat has unraveled my ball of yarn, because cats love balls and making mischief. So I put a little bit of beater's glue on all my knots and around this knot, and I think it's so cute. And so what I haven't decided yet is if I'm going to add it to the bracelet project that I'm doing today, or if I'm going to turn this into another pendant or a charm. It would be really cute as a bracelet charm. So I didn't cut this away yet because I wanted to make sure that my glue was really nice and dry, but I will set my naughty ornery little cat who unraveled my ball of yarn over here. I mean, it was really simple, and I do love mixing like metal and glass and textile things. It's a really nice effect in jewelry. So I have these little Orion star spacer beads here. There were these lovely Czech glass dog beads. The drill hole goes right through from the neck to the nose, so they lay really nicely. So I'm going to use one of those. There was this really adorable little turquoise dog bone charm, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to do this so that it looks like the dog is playing with his bone. And that's why I was thinking to add the cat in as a charm, to have, like, because I have a dog and a cat, and this is just like speaks to my heart. But while I'm doing the bracelet, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and take my anti-tarnish coating, my Permalac that I love. So by the time I'm ready to attach this, it will be ready to go. So I'm just going to brush it over, get my brush inside the loop. These are lovely, but they're just plated base metal, and I like to add a little quality to my work. And so the other thing I do is with the semi-gloss, this product does come in matte and and semi-gloss. I pretty much always use the semi-gloss, but I just wanted to flip this over. It's not cooperating. There we go. The other thing that I do with the semi-gloss only is brush it over the front, because there is a little bit of metal peeking through the enamel on this charm and those crystals. So if you're using the semi-gloss, you can brush it over the enamel, you can brush it over the crystal, you can brush it over everything, and it does not cloud or take away the sparkles. So I'm just going to set that aside to dry while we do our thing. So I'm going to be using Softflex company products today for my stringing. I love their number 2 crimp tubes, so I have one of those in my dish, and I'm going to be using the Softflex medium 49 strand. It's my favorite bead stringing wire, and I'm using the bone color. Everything in this box was really neutral, so I'm going to keep it that way. So I have more than a bracelet length here because I am going to be making a loop. So I'm going to start with the crimp tube, and I'm going to use these Orion stars and some seed beads. I just have some gold 11-0 seed beads in my little dish here. And I'm going to do create a loop with these Orion stars and these gold seed beads. So just a small loop. This is my lobster claw clasp. It is gold filled, and it is just a beautiful, like a nice quality and really small. So I'm just going to thread on enough of a loop to look nice and to accommodate that as my closure. Okay, that's what my loop looks like, and I did decide to just do 3 seed beads right in the middle of the loop, just for, this is a pretty small lobster clasp, so that will just be an easy place to attach. And I finished my pattern with no seed beads, so just the Orion stars, and I'm just going to get that second cut end or tail through my number 2 crimp tube and bring it down. On the Czech glass, I don't think that 2 strands will go back through any of my Czech glass beads. Okay, I don't like that. Can you see the way the Orion stars are competing for space? So, easy fix. I'm going to, let's see if I just thread on a seed bead on one side, and then a number 2 crimp tube, when it is crimped with the magical crimping plier, does look very close in size to an 11-0 seed bead. So let's see what that does for me. I think I'm not going to be able to do that though. Even though that is true, it does resemble an 11-0 seed bead. I'm going to add one more seed bead on this end. I want my loop closure situation to look nice. So I have both ends open, so that's an easy fix. And now I'll just put my crimp tube back on and make that loop again. And then I'll see if my little Orion beads are happier. They have the space that they need. Oh yeah, much better. Seed beads are so magical. They're so powerful in design. They can problem solve, extend the length of things, space out beads so that they show up more nicely. I do a little bit of seed beading, but even when I'm not like bead weaving with a needle and thread, I'm always amazed at how powerful such a small bead is in my designs. So I have my loop made, and I'm going to fit that number 2 crimp tube in the single well or divot in this plier, and I am going to use my other pliers and just give this a tug because I don't want any weird spaces in my loop before I crimp. And then I just close it, and when I take it away, I've pinched the 4 corners of that tube, and now I'm going to fit it in the opposite direction and close it again. And now I'm just going to open and close and rotate my work a few times until I've molded that tube into a little tiny gold bead, and it looks like that. Love the magical crimping plier. So now my clasp is ready to go, and this is really strong. And so up next is going to be my dog, and he is going to go nose first. And I know that 2 strands of this do not go through him, so I am going to snip that really close before I thread him on. And like I said, he's going to go nose first. This is the prettiest bead. It's so detailed. You can see all of his little hairs. You can see his eyes, his eyebrows. I mean, this is such a pretty bead. So his little nose is going right there to the loop. And now I'm just going to create a pattern here. I loved this box because of all the animals. They did neutrals, but then the accent color was a pop of turquoise. So I am going to space out everything, I think. I haven't decided on my pattern yet, but I think everything is going to get spaced out with these gold seed beads. And I think I'm going to make a little like section of these Orion beads right behind his neck, so it will kind of resemble his collar. This is like your metaphorical pet. I don't know what to say, but it's so, I love these beads. They're so wonderful. They did such a great job. And then I'm just going to play with a pattern. I have these fluted Czech glass melon beads that match the dog perfectly, and I'm just going to play with a little pattern, probably color blocking, I think, and get my bracelet length. So it will just be a second for you while I string this, and I'll be back and show you how I'm going to finish it. Okay, my little bone is coated and dry and has its little anti-tarnish. Let me clean up my mess a little bit, and I'll show you what I did. My pattern is pattern blocked and color blocked in tandem. I'll show you what I did. Let me just put my seed beads back in the jar. I love this little tray. I found a set of these a couple of months back, and I love them for seed beading. I can pick everything small up easily for beading without a mess and clean up quickly without a mess. So here's my pattern. I did a little section here. The Orion beads are kind of sprinkled in, and I've just done pattern blocking as well as color blocking. So I shifted from color to color, and it comes back around to that front loop. And I'm going to do the same thing on this end that I did on the other end. And while I was sitting here stringing, I made another decision too. That's when I make my best design decisions, when I'm sitting quietly and stringing. I'm fairly certain that these Czech glass beads won't take the cut in to go back down through. It does look nice if you can string your bead stringing wire down through a couple of beads in a design. I always like when I can trim away down here away from my clasp, but sometimes it's just not possible, and this is one of those times. And I love my Soft Flex bead stringing wire because it comes in so many pretty colors. And if I wanted to cover this loop with seed beads, I could, but if I just leave the color that it is showing, it looks beautiful. So and that's what I'm going to do on this design. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any gaps, but I also don't want to have any too much tightness or rigidity, and I want this loop to be pretty small. Whoops, caught a hold of it with my pliers. And I'm just going to get it into position and make sure before I crimp that I don't need to back anything down. It makes that a circle really nicely. And I'm going to do the exact same thing again with my magical crimping plier. So, and like when you do a fold over crimp, you would want to make sure that your wire is not crossed in here, because that crimping method, if you're not familiar, like I use my Xuron one sometimes, and this tooth here makes a fold in the tube and puts one strand in each channel. And so it is something you have to do. But with the magical crimping plier, you don't have to worry if your wires are crossed or not. You just have to make sure that you can feel that that tube is right in the center of the single divot in this tool. And when you close it, you have made a square with 4 pinched corners. And then when you come to the opposite direction, and again, before you close, make sure that you can feel that you are right in the center. And when you close, it has already started to form the tube into a tiny gold bead. And then you just go around a few times until you're just opening and closing on nothing, and you get this beautiful little bead. And like what I always say is that, you know, a non-jewelry maker would look at this bracelet and have absolutely no idea how it's held together, because that doesn't look like it's doing anything. It looks like a seed bead. So I love that. And now I am going to come with this gold-filled jump ring. And I did get out a gold-filled diamond cut jump ring for my dog's bone. And I'm just going to add that and add this lovely little gold-filled clasp. I have an assortment of these gold-filled lobster clasps. I've ordered it so many times. Let me show you what it looks like. There's all these different sizes and shapes, and some are pivoting. I've reordered this set of clasps when I think I want to, like, I'm going to wear something a lot, or that I'm going to really love something. I will make my quality up a little bit. But look how cute this bracelet is. So now I'm just going to add the dog's bone in his mouth right here. This is like a little bit of whimsy. I just love it. And I'm going to, my trick, and it works great for this particular design, is instead of putting a jump ring through a loop, I like to put it around the whole circumference of my piece. And that way it goes around 360 degrees without ever getting stuck. And it doesn't matter which way I pick my bracelet up to put it on. Of course, he's strung, so the dog is going to spin too. But this little bone has texture on the back side, and it's just absolutely lovely. I just love this little bracelet. And I did make another design decision. Look at this. I just love it. If you're an animal lover. Oh, and I have to say, this made me think of one of my neighbors. When I walk in the morning, I would always see her for years now. I would see her walking her dog, and her dog passed away almost a year ago, and I don't see her anymore. And I was thinking that a little pet bracelet like this would be so beautiful, and even hang, like the dog's name was Carly, hang a little C for just a keepsake, and just to tell her, you know, how sorry I am about her dog. So these beads were just absolutely wonderful. Look at that adorable little pet bracelet, and my little dog has his bone in his mouth. So I did make a decision. I looked at hanging the cat from this bracelet, and what I've decided to do, and I'm glad that I didn't cut this off, is do another bracelet that's a cat bracelet that I can stack with this one. And I don't know, I didn't even try to see if these Czech glass beads would go over this cord. It looks like it will, but I would have to stiffen the ends. Maybe it will. Okay, so that will work. I can use the beads that I have left, and there were more in the box that would work. Let's see if it's just that one. The gold ones work. So I'm going to work on this design. There were these as well. I'm going to work on this design and decide what my stringing material is going to be. I really like this cord, so I don't know, maybe I'm going to do something funky with this cord and the beads that I have left, and do a set of layered bracelets, a cat bracelet and a dog bracelet. So for me, it's Oprah Girl and Bella Cat. That's my dog and my cat. So I thank you so much for watching. I love getting these two boxes from the Czech Republic. I will put links to both boxes in the description box of this video. If you're interested, it helps out my channel if you use my link. It doesn't change the price or do anything to you. It just helps my channel out, and that's always appreciated. So subscribe and tap the bell notification and give me a thumbs up. All the things are so appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, friends.